Well, we might have just lost that. I'm not sure.
It's okay. We'll keep it going.
So hopefully we didn't just lose that. We got an error message that said couldn't record. So we may have lost that whole beautiful beginning or not. But
we'll find out.
See, it's like daylight savings time. It throws you for a loop.
Throws you for a loop.
I was in the zone.
Very much so.
Now I'm out of the zone.
No. The way to like I say, the way to move on obviously is to just go into talking about the body effects and the way that we have to start making direct changes and understand that you're talking on principles that I think everybody can get behind and try to understand for themselves, and that is drink more water, get grounded at least a few times a day. If you start to feel yourself in a hyper anxious mode, then be in contact with the earth. If you can't get to something that's natural because you live in an extreme like urban environment, even just bringing a potted plant inside the house is a way to bring the ground to you. It's not directly connected to the earth's grounding system, so it's not as effective. But it is one of those to where you can see a lot of these different technologies helping a person create an overall grounded effect. So, the mineralization of the human body is so critical to transfer information and allow for that grounding to even occur. So when we're really struggling with ourselves, we really want to move into a better system for combating a lot of this in the natural way. That's I think the most important piece in this. Like I say, we'll have the talk tonight that'll go very detailed into just the brain chemistries and how depression systems do come into a person and how to try to get rid of them in a way that's actually allowing for full natural control of a body. So it is something that we're always looking for better solutions, better styles and structures than the idea of just living on a synthetic toxin poison system from the pharmaceuticals.
Mm-hmm.
So that obviously is a great stopgap measure. I don't request anybody to jump off of anything that they're taking tomorrow. The idea is to get an exit strategy and develop a game plan, and that's where it's beautiful with the health coaching because we can do that on a routine basis, and we can keep trying to go through our personal understanding here as health coaches and expressing the ways that we keep seeing changes occur for other people. So that's the most important piece in this.
Yeah. So just to recap, kind of, because we had some really great. I liked the information we had in the first part there before our recording got messed up. Just in case that isn't recorded and we can't save that for YouTube and Ustream, can we just retouch on some of the things we talked about? Is basically today's topic is on daylight savings time and springing forward and the health complications that can come from that. We started off by talking about the history of that, where it comes from, the old calendar, this idea that we can save electricity or even candlelight by moving time back to have more daylight time. But the problem with this is and I was saying if you wanted to have a conspiracy theory based around it, one could assume, or one could assume that there's this conspiracy theory to throw us out of sync with nature. And even if it's not a conspiracy, it's still happening. Mm-hmm. And so in doing so, we're being thrown out of sync with nature, the sun, the moon, the galaxy, and the universe. And you were talking about Nassim Haramein, looking at the similarities between the moon's rotation and
the internal sun's rotation.
So. Right, and the idea is that there's a synchronicity, a fractal synchronicity from the center of our galaxy to the sun, to the moon, to our planet, and to ourselves, and there's a direct correlation. And in getting out of sync with the moon and the astrological bodies, that there can be health complications because of that.
Correct.
And getting in sync with things like the moon can be great for our health, just like getting in touch with nature. You were talking about going camping, and that led us to our what we were just talking about just now is grounding technologies and using grounding to counteract the effects of daylight saving times. And grounding is literally getting connected with the earth. It's been pretty popular now for a few years, so most people probably know about this. If you don't, go online and research it. It's pretty simple. The best way is getting your feet in direct contact with the planet. There's other ones where you can plug a grounding cord into your grounding outlet. Some people have theories about what's better, what's not so good with grounding. I think if you can get a metal rod into the actual earth and then run that into your bedroom through a silver or copper line, and you connect that to a grounding blanket or mattress or whatever, that seems to be pretty cool. Getting it into some wet earth, preferably where there's some biological activity, making it more active, more conductive.
Correct.
So just wanted to retouch on some of that, just in case our recording got messed up there from the beginning, because that was really great.
Yeah.
So what are some other things we can do? You were talking about hydration. I mean, and just for health in general, it's a great place to start is getting our hydration electrolyte levels back up, using sea salt and water to get our own natural conductivity up. And like I was saying, just for anyone starting with health, hydration is a great place to start. Most people, I would say, are chronically dehydrated. It's one of those great health issues that most people
don't really pay attention to.
Right, yeah. And you tell someone, drink a gallon of water a day, they have a panic attack.
Yeah.
So if a gallon's too much, I like what I've heard other people say is set a water goal every day. So what's your water goal? That should be something you know. Mine is about a gallon a day.
Yeah, I'm doing about 100 ounces. That's I mean, that's average. So
because we lose approximately a liter of water while we're sleeping. And then I've heard about 3 liters during the day, approximately, depending on how active you are and what you're doing.
Yep. So if you're drinking a 20-ounce bottle...
Keep going. Close these blinds. See if that helps.
If you're drinking a 20-ounce bottle, then the unique thing is that... no, that's better. I think so. Takes some of that direct sun that just popped up.
We were getting blasted by the beautiful sun. It's funny, we're talking about getting in sync with nature, and then I'm like, let's block out the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
But you got to do what you got to do, people. I mean, this is a production here. A very low production. We're a little overexposed, but we're doing the best with what we have.
Yeah, and again, a lot of people, for some reason, they buy a bottle of water and they look at it and they say, oh, that's what I'm supposed to drink, and there's no real RDA on it. And I wish the funny thing is if with everything else, they actually started putting RDAs on a bottle that says, times 5 of these a day. You're at at point 2 of your daily serving of water for this particular operation. So it's interesting because we see that with everything else, and yet so many people are so confused. Again, when it comes to detoxification, full energy, then there's just nothing that you can start on that's a simpler thing to control than I'm just going to drink extra water. If today you're drinking only 1 bottle of water a day, 20 ounces, 16 ounces, then the idea is double that tomorrow, double that again for another day. Now you're finally getting somewhere in terms of really getting your body hydrated, 40, 50 ounces. Then you finally move yourself into the point of doing 60. And then again, it's just a goal range. And then you'll start to feel the effects of that. And your body will start to actually change the way it's going to work. And yes, if you've got a job where you're literally tied to a desk, 4 hours before you get a break, and you're saying, oh, I can't drink that much because I might have to use the restroom, it's time to realize that the days of quote-unquote slavery to any kind of work system is actually gone. You can choose to get up and walk out of your desk for your own reasons without being told and being prosecuted and fired. If you have a person who's actually you're working for who doesn't understand that, again, we do not have to be, unless we abide by, following into systems like that. And again, that's why it's kind of, a crazy concept is that so many people live their lives and do their health based on what's allowed for the system that they're surrounded by.
Yeah.
Instead of, wait a minute, the thing that makes the most sense here is actually for me to drink that gallon of water and to feel the benefits and the effects of that, and then come back to understanding myself. This is one of the biggest and most freeing things that kind of happens when you finally say, wait a minute, I'm going to stop eating the food that's actually advertised. I'm going to, not be drinking, just those, beverages and liquids that actually are shown at my gym to quote unquote hydrate me.
Sure. The electrolyte,
yes,
orange,
everything that's
artificial colored, weird sugar.
Yeah, we were just at the Natural Products Expo West this weekend, seeing all of the amazing creations from all the different companies all over the world.
It's insane.
Again,
it's exciting to see what's happening, what's starting.
Yeah,
you get organics at Costco, for example. It's insane.
It's starting to really change, and we're seeing not only the distribution but the manufacturing really come up and support everything when it comes to being in the natural world. And then we also have a very large following here for people who are trying to be healthy. But it's always a big conversation of contention whenever we talk about the percentage. Like, what's the percentage of the country that we believe is finally starting to look at their health seriously and to make the changes necessary to actually get in control of it? And when I hear people say, "Oh, we're still well below 5%," I'm going, "Okay, wait a minute. That means we're not doing. We got to try a lot harder." And then a lot of times I sit back and I look at the way things are changing, and I go, "Well, maybe we've got about 15-20%." And we're really starting to say, like, this is having an effect.
Yeah.
As health coaches, the whole platform that we go through is the idea of making the change in one person, and then that person helping make the change in multiple others, and creating that ripple effect.
Yeah, igniting one candle, igniting another.
Really kind of moving it forward in that step, because as soon as it catches on, the idea is everybody else will play that factor, the why me factor. I want some of that. Please give me some health. Let me experience natural living.
Right.
So we really want, a lot of things to be, changing.
That can be a great motivator for you too. Instead of I think we see a lot of moms primarily as our clients and as people who come into our shops and to buy our products and things like this. It's a lot of moms who are kind of getting the download, like, we need to change something. I actually I'm concerned for my kids' health. I'm concerned for my husband's health. And one of the best ways that people can help other people is being an example.
Yeah.
Be that shining light. The more you go tell people, you need to do this, you need to do this, so for some reason people have this automatic reaction to do the opposite, or be like, you're crazy. Enjoy life, enjoy food, all this stuff, But really, the best way to influence people is to show them, not to tell them, and to be that example. So it's for anyone out there that wants to change people in your family, just start doing it yourself. Yeah. Don't make a big deal about it. Just start doing it. Be about it. Don't talk about it, so to speak. And then when people come to you and ask you questions, they want to open a dialogue. When people come to you wanting it and needing it, and seeing that you're an example for it, that's powerful. So just a little tip there, in my personal opinion, the more you try to force something down somebody's throat, the more they're going to not want to accept it.
Yeah, I still find that's one of the funny little tricks that I do. I walk around all over the place, and I'm just always whistling constantly. And people think,
I know you do.
People think, oh, look at that happy guy over there. What's going on with him? Oh, and I laugh because I go, well, I really just whistle in order to keep myself happy. I may actually be having a really
whistle while you work.
Really off day that's not helping a lot of things. But the idea is that if I can keep myself in that nice, motivated, happy sort of direction, then everybody else is gonna kind of follow suit as well too. And I love when I can actually go into restaurants or gas stations or places like that, and I'll be whistling. All of a sudden, I hear two other people. They do their little whistle too, and I'll go, gotcha.
The whistle club.
You can't help it. It's just one of those things. It makes you all of a sudden want to join in and be a part of it instead of actually resisting a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it's not so much the idea. I think that so many people kind of go at in health coaching. The idea is that we always struggle to find the right ways to communicate effectively to a person. What's in it for them? What's the most important reason for them to want to see changes occur? It actually has very little to do with me, with you. Of course, we're always happy to hear people healing, but that's really has nothing to do with the idea of another person. And they are struggling in a way of self-discovery that getting a coach actually helps take away a lot of that uneasiness and that stress level of, am I doing the right thing? What's the next step? Where do I go from here?
It can give you accountability as well.
Oh yeah. Again, if I walk in here and
a support system.
Mike's the one telling me, hey Joe, you should put down half. You've already eaten half of the dozen of donuts. Could you put down the other 6 before anything bad happens? And I would love that. If I was the person struggling with that, like if I honestly was having major concerns and issues about control in my life, it's great.
We'll get you some paleo donuts or something.
Yeah. The funny thing is that I think a lot of times
sugar.
We get stressed by trying to decide, do we want a healthy, stable relationship with our especially significant others, or do we want to see health changes in the people around us? And that's why it's important a lot of times to step it out and make it not be a confrontational piece on the person involved.
Right.
And say, hey, don't listen to me. Go talk to these guys, around the corner here, and ask them what they would do, and see. And I love the example of people. It definitely does come around a lot of times where people say, I've told that person that X amount of times over the years, but once it finally comes from you, then for some reason it really created some change.
We've seen that with our friends in our health community. Our parents won't take advice from us, but our parents will take advice from our friends, and they're getting the same exact advice.
Okay. Well, that's what they actually call the powdered butt syndrome. When any person has ever had
powdered
butt syndrome. At any time when someone's ever taken or changed a diaper on another individual, they believe that person will never be able to tell them how to actually do something.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So it's a very interesting piece in that.
What do you know? I used to wipe your ass.
No. We apologize for the crude comment that essentially came from Mr. Michael here. He doesn't understand that it's properly referred to as buttocks, or bottom bum, anything that depends on what country you might be located in. But you gotta watch yourself. I
can't say ass?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Double time now. So we're gonna get a little swear cup.
I know to say I'll put $1 in the swear jar
because we're trying to keep this healthy and clean.
That's right.
Not just the idea of going through and expressing attitudes, but we're really excited to be able to come in. Record episode 1, move past the stumbling blocks. This was our kind of goal that we set up for ourselves, was that whatever happens, we just need to start doing what we always are talking about,
right?
And that might be the same for you. So if there's a benefit that can come at finally making that little choice, always feel free to send us an email, give us some comments. Let us know what we can do to help. Again, personal questions are always welcomed, and we love to be able to just express solely what those questions might be. We're getting a lot of questions right now regarding virus control, spring sort of issues that are happening, people getting early allergies. So we'll look at a talk focused on allergenic reactions and how to do, virus control and things like that. Again, the greatest part about this is that you can do all of it and take care of yourself. It's not so hard. We've done it before, and as a society, we just sort of gave up 50, 60 years ago, really, and kind of said, okay, we'll let other people outside of the home take care of all of the issues that are inside the home.
Yeah.
And it became a really interesting place. So we know that the time change affects a lot of people. We understand that becomes, but if your body's struggling, then the adaptation and that's not working very well, then the idea is to go and try to find somebody to help.
Yeah. So real quick, let's recap. It sounds like we're winding down this episode. Short episode today, but who cares? So to recap, some of the things we can do to counteract this daylight savings time. We talked about staying hydrated. A little bit of that was staying mineralized, electrolytes, sea salts, using sea salt in your water, things like shilajit, mineral pitch, mineral dense foods like spirulina, seaweed, these kinds of things to counteract the daylight savings time. And another one was grounding, one of my favorite, which we should be doing anyways. The idea being that we want to stay in sync with the moon, with the sun, and not lose that relationship. And the more you develop it over time, the health benefits that can come from that. What were some of the other things? Oh, and adaptogens. Taking adaptogenic herbs to adapt with the time shift. With the stresses, and there's tons of adaptogens that to be looked at. The best ones are probably the top 5 that you can find from Ayurvedic or Chinese medicine, European folk, Native American, Amazonian adaptogens. Doesn't really matter. Just pick 1 or 2 and use them.
Yeah. I mean, there's some that are very focused. We'll talk a little bit more about that tonight in class.
So we can tune in tonight as well, right?
Tonight.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
No, actually, very different bat time, same bat channel. So that's one of those where.
Well, time's not even real, Joseph. So there.
Real enough. It's real
Ask
enough.
Nassim.
Yeah, no, it is not real. But the idea is the effects that we go through
are real.
Being temporal are real. And that's where we really do see the need for the focus and to get the things around us that help us be able to actually change when we need to. So that's one of those where the stronger system for us in understanding it, and that's why I think again for daylight savings times, if you really want to go against this grain, I agree. Live your own life. Have your own calendar.
Get back to a lunar calendar.
Understand that there's another calendar out there that most other people, operate by, but you don't have to. Move to a state like Arizona. Go to a country that just doesn't even, understand any of this. And there's ways of changing things around so that you can finally see and really understand the effects of this. I think that's where it's unique as well too. We're just not willing to change to start to feel different, even though changing obviously will always make you feel different. So that's where the biggest concept out of the Tao Te Ching is the idea is it's always a step, like just it's always a step. Never be stuck. Whatever you can do whenever there's an issue, just always make some step in a direction, and see what happens. And that's where we love the ability, because I know that most people are a little bit scared. They're trying to get out of something that they don't like, but coaching really does help. Because then you hear from somebody the things that you think are amazing and ridiculous or too crazy to possibly work. Guess what? Crazy health coaches will help you.
We're here for you. We're part of your support system.
That's correct.
And the more you have influences like this, positive influences, things keeping you focused on what's important, what you feel internally called to change your life, we're here for you. So leave your questions in the comments below. Please like our video and subscribe because that helps us get more viewers and more people that we can interact with and be a part of this and grow this system.
Correct.
Anything else, Joseph, today you want to talk about? We're running out of time, unfortunately.
We are kind of running towards the end here. I mean, there's always fun, little like quirks and little things that are happening out there in the world that I think definitely bring us into some understanding as we kind of know what's moving on. Oh yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just the fact of how many times we're going to start turning this channel on. So we're going to actually have the talk tonight. We'll have Thursday on again.
Mm-hmm. Every Thursday.
We'll be trying to
Thoughtful Thursdays with
set up our new opportunities while we're actually out and being mobile and being recording whenever inspiration kind of comes on, because that's going to be very interesting and fun for people to kind of see. But it's definitely something at the end of the month here in at the end of May. March, I'll be giving a talk regarding anti-chemtrail treatment and Fukushima relief and remedies for people who've forgotten that there was actually a large nuclear power plant that blew up and decided to, putrefy the Pacific Ocean. Because it only happened 4 years ago. So I mean, why would we care? But that's one of those where doing these talks and kind of moving through things, we're always into a new strategy. California is still fighting right now in terms of trying to keep away what they call, I believe it's AB 277. So
what's this?
Understand the legislation that goes on around you. This is the mandatory vaccine condition system that no longer allows for homeschool restrictions.
Arizona would never have that.
Arizona, well, let's hope not. I don't think Arizona's going to try. But we've seen some successes. We are working on it. There's a lot of groups that have come together, and we thank everybody who's struggling to keep good sound, health
It's
advice.
scary when the conversation gets black or white too.
Yes.
It's good or it's bad, and then we start forcing people to do things over, which is propaganda. This whole idea that measles outbreak or these,
Mm-hmm.
It's not even real.
Yeah.
Like, when we say an outbreak of measles, what are we talking about? And what are the numbers of people that are actually getting measles? And what's the right? Yeah,
167.
167 people. I don't know what it is now, but I heard that about a month ago. Is that an outbreak or is that just hype? Is that we need to look under the surface. It's and the moment we start fighting each other, that's scary.
Yeah.
Let's have an open dialogue. Let's have an unemotional talk about it. I realize there are stakes and health the people are concerned for their child's well-being on both sides. And that's the commonality.
Yeah.
Is people who are pro-vax and anti-vax are initially wanting the same thing, and that's health or their children's safety.
Yeah.
And so we need to kind of come together and stop fighting and stop being crazy. Stop threatening people because they don't want to vaccinate their children, or if they do,
that type of crazy.
Why?
That's something we even as
old
crazy
paradigm.
Health coaches, we can't proliferate that as much. But the idea goes back to on my personal choices. Working with people who are trying to change their health, and let's get crazy. Let's do the things that actually don't quote unquote make sense with what we see, hear, and feel and think until we've known for sure with experience that it's something that works or doesn't work for our particular bodies.
Yeah.
That's the most important piece. So drink your water. Struggle with anything. Give us some questions. We always love to get that kind of interaction that tells us, hey, spend a few minutes on whatever is my personal thing. Gives you a few minutes of fame there to just let us help you and help everybody else who's struggling with those particular same issues. So,
yes. And we might start a weekly giveaway. Something like that for anyone on YouTube who leaves a comment, likes our video, and subscribes. We're going to start doing something like a $20 gift card on Amazon or maybe different health and wellness websites where you can get products, things like that. Just a little incentive to kind of get the ball rolling and get people interacting.
Exactly.
So I don't know what that is yet, and I just made that up, but it sounds pretty cool.
Sounds pretty cool.
So please, like I said, like, subscribe, follow our videos, and leave a comment below with your questions, and we'll answer them every week.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have any topics you want us to go over, we'll do a show on that. And let us be your health coaches. And if anyone wants more in-depth or personal help, contact Joseph,
Mm-hmm.
and he can provide you with a system to accomplish your goals, to help you find what you're looking for. So please contact Joseph if you're interested in having a personal health coach beyond just the general conversation we're having here on YouTube and Ustream.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much. We're really excited. This is episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
This is us making our change into doing something that we've talked about for a very long time now, and now we're doing it.
Yeah.
So thank you, and we hope to grow with you as we grow in our show here, and we're very excited to bring it to you. I don't even know what I'm saying, but I'm just saying stuff, and it's fun. I mean, particularly in this last sentence. I don't mean in general the whole show. I just mean right now.
Okay.
It's a little bit of logorrhea.
It's time to cut Mike before Mike says anything really crazy.
No more ASS.
Right.
All right, guys. Much love to you. Stay hydrated. Stay happy, and we'll see you next time on Two Crazy Health Coaches.
Two Crazy Health Coaches.
Bye-bye.
Get crazy.